Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and welcome to another session of Not Perfect Zen. I hope you're doing well today. I have come down with a slight cold, so excuse me if my voice sounds a little strange, but I still want to do a video for you. Before I forget, here's how you can contact me. Here's my email address. If you happen to post any of your tiles or your work on social media, please use @BBL_Tangles to tag me. And in Mosaic, I am BB Langston CZT 34. And Mosaic is the Zentangle app. All right. Today I am going to continue with two different things that I've been combining, and that is the 102 Tangles of Zentangle and Zentangle enhancers. And last time I talked about sparkle, and today I'm going to talk about aura. And the 102 Tangles of Zentangle is the poster from Zentangle that came out in 2009. But that is what introduced me to Zentangle. I saw it at a college. I took a picture of it and found out what Zentangle was. And as they say, the rest is history. All right, so what is an aura? In the Zentangle primer, or primer, some people call it that way, an aura is a line drawn equidistant next to another line or tangle that follows the shape of the existing line or tangle, like a halo or a ripple in a pond. And again, that's from the primer, volume 1. And to show you the auras, today I'm going to show you the patterns SeZ, Echoism, and static. I'll be using a 3.5-inch Zentangle tile, a graphite pencil. I'm going to have these 3 pens out here. Not sure which one I'll use, but these are my favorite pens, a Micron PN. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, the Micron PN, which means plastic nib, Micron 01, and I'll be using a graphic 1. What's nice about this is it has a nice kind of pointed but thick tip, similar to a marker. Okay, the other things I have is a tortillon, also known, well, this is called a blending stump. It's solid, okay, won't bend. A tortillon is a piece of rolled paper, and I keep this paper clip in there to keep the tip a little bit pointed. All right. I am so grateful for that poster that introduced me to Zentangle, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to share what I know with you. Okay, we're going to start with the 4 corner dots. Okay, and then we're going to connect those with just a light border. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is put our string. And a string is just a placeholder to help you kind of divide up your tile to input or draw the patterns. So I'm just going to make a mark about halfway on each of these, just to have something to aim for, and then I'm just going to connect these. And I'm not necessarily doing a straight line. It can be a little bit curved. Okay. And the first thing we're going to do is the pattern SeZ. And I'm going to start with my PN. And I have seen this done several different ways, but the way that Rick does it, he just puts some random dots, okay, on a page, and then puts an aura around that dot, okay, and then another aura, and mine are not going to be exactly equal distant. You can make them closer together, a little bit further apart. But I'm showing you on this piece of paper because I just want to let you know that this is not SeZ. I have looked through the Mosaic app a couple of times. This is Printemps. Okay? And it is a spiral. SeZ is not a spiral. Okay? So I just want to make that clear before we start. Excuse me. So within this center part, I'm just going to put some random dots. I'm not thinking about it that much. Okay. Let's go ahead and put one down here. And now, let me say first that if you look at the step outs from Zentangle, Rick used sesame seeds, and he just randomly dropped sesame seeds on his tile, and then he put a mark next to each one, and then he started doing his auras. All right, now you can make these dots a little bit bigger, which I'm going to, and then just start adding your auras. And just take your time. And then find another one. I'm going to make these a little bit bigger. Okay. So back to this one. Now you could go to each of these and put just a couple of lines each time if you want. But I'm just going to go ahead and put like 3 around each one. The other thing about this is that with Zentangle, with Printemps, you would put another one right next to it, and this one goes behind, and then come around, go behind again. With SeZ, you don't go behind, okay? Just letting you know. I just had wanted to remember to tell you that. My dog is snoring in the background, but maybe you can't hear her. She loves to be with me wherever I'm at. She is an American Staffordshire Terrier. She was a rescue in 2020. So I've had her 4 years, almost 4 years. So I'm trying to get these to be about the same distance apart. If they're not, it's okay. But again, before I get too close to another one, I'm going to stop because we're not going behind with this pattern. I would encourage you to look at the step out, and I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. But you can find all of these patterns on tanglepatterns.com. This is a nice filler pattern. It's meditative if you're taking your time. And it's okay if they touch. That one almost touches, but it did not go behind. It's not like it's a rule, but that's how this pattern works. Okay, I'm not going to go past my string line. If you want to, you could come in here and just put another random dot and add another aura. They don't have to have a certain number of rings going around it, or auras. Okay, so the next thing that he does is an aura around a group of these. So let's just start here. And I'm going to go ahead and go around and a little bit past my border there. Come around. And this one's not very close, so I'm not going to include that one. Let's go this way. There's no particular rules on this. Okay, you can see that mine was not perfect. I don't do perfect tiles, but I do have fun. Okay, so now I'm going to put an aura around this group. Come back around. Let's put an aura around these. Okay. And then we'll just leave those. Then the next thing that he does is he puts a thicker line. So now I'm switching to the graphic one. And next to this outside border that we just added, we're going to make it just a little bit thicker. And you could do this with your regular pen, but I'm going to use this graphic one. Always turn in your tile to keep it comfortable for your hand. And I'm going to come out this way and then go in a little bit. Try to straighten that out a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go over this one. All right. And then we'll just put an aura around that one. Around this one. And this one. Okay, I got a little bit close, but it's okay. Now the other thing I'm going to do is, since I've got this string line, I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. Okay, and then when we go to put the shading on there, we will shade these areas where we had the heavy lines. So it makes for a really interesting pattern. Okay, so basically that is SeZ. Now the next one I'm going to show you is Echoism. And I think I'm going to do that one with Micron 01. And Echoism is just taking your pen, you're going to loop up, then you're going to come down, and then come back this way and loop up this way. But you're always going to come back. Okay, come down, come back, up and around. Okay, they can touch if you want, but they don't have to. Okay, so that's Echoism. And we're going to put that in 2 different spots. And I'm going to fill it in this corner. So I'm going to start where my border line is. Come up, back around, come down and make my loop. Come back up, come back down till I reach my border. Come back up. I'm going to start making it bigger. Same here. You can make it as fat or as skinny as you would like. I'm going to come all the way down here. Make this one a little bit bigger. And then we will make them smaller as we go into this corner. Okay, so that's the basic pattern. And we're going to add auras by coming between our little loops. Okay, let me zoom in just a little bit and see if that'll help you. So I'm going to add an aura here. I don't have much room, so I'm not going to do another one. Let's add one here. Okay, I have a little bit of room, so I'm going to come in and add just a little bit there. It doesn't have to look perfect. And these auras are not the same distance as those. Okay, it's going to come back in, add another aura inside. And then we'll just continue going around like that. This also makes a nice filler that you can put in any spot. And just take your time. I know some people don't enjoy doing auras, but if you just go slow, it's not so bad. Okay. Not much room here, but we're still going to put an aura. And same thing here. I'm just going to come around like that. And let's put one over here. And I'm just going to come off of that and come down like that. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over and do this side. I don't think I see this pattern used very often. But I enjoy making loops like that, so excuse me, I like this pattern. Now this one, I come in, and it's already going to meet up there, so I'll just come inside here and add my aura. Same thing on this one. Okay. And I'll just put a little bit of an aura right there. Don't forget, this is your work. This is your art. So you make it the way that you like it. All right, I'm going to go over to this corner and do the same thing. So I'm going to start here, make my loop. I'm not trying to make it look exactly like the one up there. On the other side. You could make them a little bit skinnier than I did, and that would give you a little more room for the auras. So I'm going to do these just a little bit different. I know a lot of you like to just watch this and decide what you like and then do your tiles. That is perfect. Okay, so here comes our auras. And since I made these smaller, we have a little more room to add our auras inside. And when I'm concentrating, I'm not talking very much. And that's what I love about Zentangle, is the focus. When I started doing this, after finding 102 Tangles of Zentangle poster, I bought the book One Zentangle a Day, and I searched and found videos, Draw Tangles with Dawn, and Melinda Barlow were my go-to channels. Okay, so I've done those. I'm going to come down and do this other side. I had been trying to meditate and was not doing very well at that. But I did find that when I started doing Zentangle, I relaxed more than I ever did in my meditations. I was hooked. I've done it almost every day ever since. Okay, I wasn't paying attention, so that one's not equal distant. It's okay. Okay, and then I could just put something there if I want to. This is your art. Okay, I think I'll just put a little thing in there. All right, so there is Echoism. And the next one I'm going to show you is one that totally depends on aura lines, and that's static. And I'm just going to make some zigzag lines. Not anything particular, just zigzag. Now with static, we are simply going to add auras that are hopefully the same shape and close to the same distance apart. And then we're just going to keep going across. My lines are not perfectly straight. This one will really look good after we add shading to it. Okay, so I've already reached my border, so I'm just going to add one over here. Just keep going. All right. Now I'm going to turn because I like to have my pen pointed to the line that I'm trying to aura. And then we're going to do the same thing. Okay. Just making lots of little peaks and valleys. Okay, just keep going. Okay. So that is static. And the other way that you can do static, excuse me, is to make it a wavy line. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to point my pen towards what I'm trying to aura. And then attempt to keep my lines about the same distance. But they rarely are, and that's okay. I think I do a little bit better with the straight lines. All right. Does not look as good as I was hoping it would. Trying to give this one a little bit better mountain or valley. Again, I'm not trying for a perfect tile. I just want to enjoy the zen. Okay, I'm going to do this side again. Okay, just keep going. I don't think I've even done half of the 102 tangles yet. I do want to get this done this year while it's the 20th anniversary of Zentangle. Yeah, that definitely could have been done better. I apologize, but I think you get the idea. All right, so there it is with the wavy line. And I will show you how it looked on my practice page a little bit better. This is out of my sketchbook, and this is what I was practicing. Okay, so now we're going to do shading. So in the center, like I said, I'm not going to do anything where we added those auras on our little dots, but I am going to just put graphite in this area between them. Just very lightly, you don't need to do it heavy. Okay, and we're not going inside of there. So now I'm going to take my tortillon and just smooth that. Just keep softening it. Push it into the paper. Oop. All right, so that is my version of SeZ. Okay. Now with my graphite pencil, with static, what I like to do is go from tip to tip, just very carefully, and add a line on each of these. Let's go down to that next line and just go tip to tip. You're not going to get necessarily a straight line. And then I'm going to fill that in between those two very lightly. Okay, now I'm going to go to this one and connect those tips. Jump over to the next one and connect those. And then we're going to leave that one white. Okay, so it's almost like the sun is shining from this direction. And if these were peaks and valleys, then it's going to be light on that side and shadow on that side. Same thing here. Okay, and then we're going to fill that in. And then take our tortillon and just soften that, making sure you're staying within those lines. And you get a really cool effect. Isn't that neat? Okay, same thing on this side. It's not quite as distinct, but let's just try to go right in the middle of those, and then we'll come down on across the tops of those, and then let's come down this one, and then we'll just kind of stay right in the middle. Okay, and then lightly fill that in. Okay, same thing over here. Just carefully go in the center of that group and across here, and then lightly fill it in. And you could do it darker. This is your art. We're going to jump over to this one and just fill in this section. Okay, I'm going to try adding just a little bit more graphite on this side than I did on this one. See what we think. It's always great to look at your art and think, well, what if I do this just a little bit differently? How's that going to look? Okay. So again, it's looking like it's going up and down. All right. Now with the Echoism, you could, let's see, I'm going to do it on this side. You could just fill these in. Okay, just for fun. And then your little echoes, or I'm sorry, your auras will stand out a little more. You could even fill these in solid or with colors. And I know there are some of you that follow me that will do this in some beautiful colors, and I look forward to seeing that. Okay, so that's one way to do it. What I did on this one is I added shading just on one side. Okay, so just on one side of these loops. And I think that looks kind of cool. So you could also do it with your pen. You could just make one side a lot darker. But let's just do it with our graphite pencil. Again, just one side. All right. And then just very lightly soften this because we don't want to fill it in. I want to give the impression of a shadow on the inside of this. All right. All right, so that's it. SeZ, Echoism, and static. And I would encourage you to put the names of these tangles on the back of your tile. Also, the hashtag for me that I've been using is 102 Tangles of Zentangle. And again, that refers to the poster. And you can still buy that poster at Zentangle if you're interested. So let's put our chop. I think I'll have mine come off of one of these lines. On the back of your tile, sign it and date it. Hold it at a distance and admire it. And be grateful again for Zentangle, for the zen and the relaxation, and for me, all of the friends that I've made. And I thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate your comments, and I try to respond to every comment in a timely manner, and you guys make me feel so good with the things that you say. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will, and hit the like button, share, and come back another time. I will continue to do this, so the next time we will do shading. All right. Have a good week, and I will see you again soon. Bye.